All right, let's get into the Victorian election. We'll cross now to Sky News political reporter Simon Love for the latest. We'll start, if we can, with the Premier. I've given everyone at home, Simon, a bit of a sense of these new revelations about the car crash, the 10-year-old car crash. And of course, we've got the fourth IBAC investigation to the Premier as well. I don't imagine we got many answers on either of these things today, did we?
None at all. Are you surprised at all, Peter? And this is something, the IBAC one particularly, that's bubbling away in the background. And if it does come to the surface, particularly this substantive story that the Age newspaper is trying to publish, then it could be politically damaging for Daniel Andrews, of course, depending on the content of it. That saga dragged out in the courts for another day today. Daniel Andrews facing more questions over the grants that were awarded to the Health Services Union in caretaker mode prior to the last election. Daniel Andrews referring reporters again to his statement, saying that he had nothing further to add, and that was the exact line and length that we got when it came to his crash 8 years ago as well.
What about his comment that he won't do a power-sharing deal with the Greens? I've been around long enough to hear lots of governments rule out these power-sharing deals, but when they need them, they certainly sign up pretty fast.
Well, this is interesting because in Parliament, particularly over the last couple of years, Daniel Andrews has gone after the Greens extremely hard and essentially calls them one of his biggest political opponents. No doubt the Coalition's probably a big political opponent for them. So I think what Daniel Andrews is hoping for here is hoping that some of the independents will get up, and if there is a minority government situation, that he could deal with more of them. For instance, Susanna Sheed, I was up in Shepparton today covering the campaign visit there of Matthew Guy. She's the independent in that seat of Shepparton, and she's openly spruiking on her billboards that she's been able to get $1.5 billion of commitments for Shepparton out of the last government, given that she's now the independent there. So I think what that shows is that independents might be able to promote that they're getting stuff done. And no doubt they're the types of people that, if there is a minority government situation, that Daniel Andrews may need to deal with.